Welcome to the second session of Module 3, Velocity and Acceleration Analysis by Analytical Method. So in this session we are going to solve a problem on analysis of IC engine mechanism, and we are going to discuss what is complex algebra method and how to find velocity acceleration of a link using complex algebra method and loop closure equation. So first let us solve a problem on analysis of IC engine mechanism. So in the previous lecture also we have solved a problem based on the same concept. So it is a continuation of the same thing. So the statement of the problem is, in a slider crank mechanism, the stroke of the slider is a 200 mm. The stroke length is given and the obliquity ratio is 4.5. So the n value is given, obliquity ratio n is equals to L by R. The crank rotates uniformly at 1000 rpm in clockwise direction. So this is important. The crank is rotating uniformly. So if it is rotating uniformly, we have to use different formula. So be careful here. If it is rotating uniformly means we have to use particular formula for velocity and acceleration. And it is rotating in clockwise direction. So speed is 1000 rpm. So when the crank is 30 degree past the outer dead center, find velocity and acceleration of piston, that is Vp and Ap. Velocity of and acceleration of piston we have to find. So next question is angular velocity and angular acceleration of connecting rod, that is omega c and alpha c we have to find. So this is the figure given figure of a crank and a slider crank mechanism. So here you can see the two extreme points, inner dead center and outer dead center. So this is the slider P. For this slider we have to find velocity and acceleration, and PC represent the connecting rod. For this connecting rod we have to find angular velocity and angular acceleration. Okay, so first of all, if you see, it is rotating in a clockwise direction, and one more condition is given. Crank is 30 degree past the outer dead center. See, this is the outer dead center. From this outer dead center, so it is passed by 30 degree. Therefore, so theta is always measured from the line of action. See, this is the line of action. So we have to measure from the inner dead center, because it has to start from the this inner dead center and pass through this outer dead center. Therefore we have to measure the angle from this line of action where inner dead center starts. Okay, so therefore theta is equals to how much? So from here to here, that is inner dead center to outer dead center, is 180 degree. 180 plus 30 degree, so that is nothing but theta. Theta is equals to 180 plus 30 degree, therefore 210 degree. Then alpha becomes 0, because it is rotating, that is crank is rotating uniformly, therefore alpha value becomes 0. So given data are, speed is given, n is equals to 1000 rpm, and L, that is the stroke length, is a 200 mm, and using this stroke length easily we can determine this length of the connecting rod, right? Length of the connecting rod easily we can determine. We know the relation stroke length is equals to 2 times of R. R represent the length of the crank, or radius of the crank. So using this relation easily we can determine R value. So that is R is equals to L by 2, because L value is given. So it is given in millimeter, convert it into meter. Therefore analysis become easy. All the units should be in the, all the values should be in the same unit. So therefore R is equals to capital L by 2. So capital L is 0.2 meter divided by 2. Therefore R value becomes 0.1 meter. And obliquity ratio given in the problem is 4.5. Obliquity ratio given in the problem is 4.5. So we know that obliquity ratio n is equals to small l by r. So l represent the length of the connecting rod, whereas r is the length of the crank. Okay, so using this uh, obliquity ratio, easily we can determine l value, that is length of the connecting rod. So r we got 0.1 and n given is 4.5. Okay, so using this relation, so we got small l is equals to 0.45 meter. Next, we are going to find the angular velocity omega. We know that 2 pi n by 60 is the formula. So n value given is 1000. Substitute here and simplify this. So we got omega value 104.719 radians per second. So we have to find 4 points. So first one is velocity of piston, second one is the acceleration of the piston, angular velocity of the connecting rod, and angular acceleration of the connecting rod. So let us see how to find the velocity of the piston. So first we have to calculate the velocity of the piston. So the relation to find, or the equation to find the velocity of the piston. So we have derived this equation in the first lecture. So Vp is equals to R into omega into sine theta plus sine 2 theta by 2n. Okay, so R value is known, omega is 104.719, so theta is 210 and n value is 4.5. So substitute all the values in this equation and simplify it. Okay, so we have substituted all the values in the above equation. So R is zero point 0.1, omega is 104.719, theta is 210 and here n value is 4.5. So then simplify this. After simplifying this, so we got the velocity minus 4.228 meter per second. So here the sign is important because if it is a positive one, then it indicates that piston is moving towards the crank end. Okay, if it is a positive value velocity is, then piston is moving towards the crank end. Since we got a negative value, the piston is moving away from the crank end. So that is the indication of this sign. Okay, positive sign indicates piston is moving towards the crank end, whereas negative sign indicates piston is moving away from the crank end. So the first one is over, that is velocity of the piston is over. So next let us see how to find the acceleration of the piston. So in order to calculate the acceleration of the piston, since the crank is rotating uniformly, therefore we have to use the second equation of acceleration. So that is ap is equals to r into omega square into cos theta plus cos 2 theta by n. So here substitute r value, omega value, theta and n value and simplify the equation. Okay, so after substituting all the values, we have to simplify this. So after simplification, we got acceleration minus 827.844 meter per second square. So here also is sign of the acceleration is important. So if it is a positive value, it indicates that piston is moving towards the crank end. Since we got a negative value, therefore piston is moving away from the crank end. So that is the indication of this sign. So the second unknown is over. So the next one is, in the third step we are going to calculate the angular velocity of a connecting rod, that is nothing but omega c. Omega c. So angular velocity of the connecting rod is given by, so we know the formula. So in the first lecture we have derived this equation, omega c is equals to omega into cos theta by n. So omega value we got 104.719, theta is 210, n is the 4.5. Substitute all the values and simplify it. Okay, so after simplifying this, we got the angular velocity of connecting rod omega c is equals to minus 20.153 radians per second. So here also negative sign indicates that both crank and connecting rod are rotating in the same direction. Okay, since crank and connecting rod are rotating in the same direction, so we are going to get the negative sign. Okay, so if it is a positive, both crank and connecting rod rotating in the different direction. Clear? So the last one is in the step 4 we are going to calculate the angular acceleration of connecting rod, that is alpha c. So the formula for calculating angular acceleration of connecting rod is alpha c is equals to minus omega square into sine theta divided by n. So substitute the value of omega. Omega is 104.719, whereas theta is a 210 degree and n value is 4.5. Okay, now simplify this. So we got alpha c value 1218.42452 radians per second square. So this one is a positive one, therefore, so it indicates. So the next important topic is complex algebra method. So what do you mean by complex algebra method? So we know that a complex number, right? So a complex number is a combination of both real as well as imaginary number, right? So here the complex algebra method is also another type of analytical method, and using this complex algebra method we can easily find velocity and acceleration of any planar mechanism. And this complex algebra method also called as variable method or complex variable method. And using this complex algebra method we can represent the position vectors of a given mechanism or a link. So individual link position vector can be represented. And in planar problems the vector, vector is represented by, vector means what, having magnitude and direction. So therefore in planar problems, so a vector is represented by its magnitude and direction in the polar form. So we know that there are two types of coordinates system. One is a Cartesian coordinate, another one is polar coordinate system. So in Cartesian coordinate system, it is our element is represented by x, y, and z. Whereas in the polar coordinate system, the element is represented by only two dimensions. One is r, which is a radius or length. Another one is theta, which represent the uh, direction. Okay, so r and theta. Clear? So now in order to find, or in order to represent a link using complex algebra method, so let us consider a link OM. So this link is having a radius smaller. So here we can call this one as radius or magnitude. Okay, so magnitude is r for the link OM. So now we have to consider the two axis. One is a real axis which is along x-axis, and another one is imaginary axis, because always complex number is a combination of real number and imaginary number. Therefore in order to represent a link using a complex algebra method or complex vector method, so we have to consider the real axis as well as imaginary axis. Okay, so for this link, so r is the magnitude, right? Now we have to find, or we have to represent the direction, then only it becomes a vector representation. Clear? So in order to represent the direction, so always consider the real axis as a reference. Okay, so it is having a theta angle with respect to the real axis. So therefore r is the magnitude, theta is the direction. So if magnitude and direction is known, then easily we can represent this link in the vector form using complex algebra method. Okay, so then what do you mean by position vector? So position vector is a vector which represents the position of a link. Okay, so OM is the link. Suppose if there is no coordinate system like this x and y axis, then it is difficult to find its position. right? So if we have a coordinate system like this, x and y axis origin, then easily we can locate the position of this link OM, right? So r theta is the position vector of the link OM. Clear? So in this position vector, magnitude is r, whereas direction is theta. Okay, magnitude is r and whereas direction is theta. Now vector in the polar form. So already I explained what is polar form. So which is a combination of radius and angle. So radius is r whereas angle is theta. Okay, so in the polar form this vector is represented like this, vector OM, vector OM, or simply we can call it as a vector M is equals to r into angle theta. Okay, r into angle theta. Since we are representing the vector, it should have both magnitude as well as direction. So magnitude is smaller whereas direction is theta. Okay, so vector in the polar form we can represent like this, vector M is equals to r into angle theta. This is the polar form. Okay, now using this polar form, so how to represent this link in the complex algebra method? So using complex algebra method, so I'm going to use this polar form equation. So what happens, vector M is equals to r into e to the power of I theta. So like this we can represent, or we have to represent in the complex algebra method. Clear? So here in this equation, or in this vector, r is the magnitude, whereas e to the power of I theta represent the direction. Okay, so it is also called as position vector. This is also called as position vector because r represent the magnitude, whereas e to the power of I theta represent the direction. Clear? So r is magnitude, e to the power of I theta is the direction. And from the complex algebra we know that e to the power of I theta, Euler's formula, that is cos theta plus I sin theta, right? Cos theta plus I sin theta. I is the imaginary number, or this part is imaginary part whereas this part is real part. Next, suppose I into e to the power of I theta. Suppose I multiplied by, that is imaginary number multiplied by e to the power of I theta. Then in order to eliminate this imaginary number I, so we have to add 90 degree to the existing angle. So existing angle is theta. So if we add 90 degree to this theta, so this I will be eliminated. Clear? So in order to eliminate this I, we have to add 90 degree to the existing angle. Okay, so this is the existing angle theta. Suppose if we add 90 degree to it, so this I will be eliminated. So these two are the formulas which we are going to uh, use, and you have to remember while solving the problem, or while using this concept. So next, using this complex algebra method, let us see how to uh, find the velocity of a link. Okay, so let us consider a link OC. Let us consider a link OC, so which is located, or which is situated in between the imaginary and real axis. So this is the origin, and it is having a magnitude r, and it is rotating in a clockwise direction with an angular velocity omega, and its direction is theta from the real axis. Okay, so using complex algebra method in the polar form, how to find the vector, position vector of this link OC. So the position vector of this link OC can be written as C vector, or OC vector is equals to R, that is magnitude, into e to the power of I theta. Since we are using complex algebra method, so we have to represent it by a real part as well as imaginary part. So real part is the magnitude whereas imaginary part is the direction. Okay, R into e to the power of I theta. So here R represent magnitude of this link OC. Okay, magnitude of this link OC, whereas e to the power of I theta represent the direction of this link OC with respect to the real axis. So next one, we are going to find the velocity of a link OC. So what do you mean by velocity? Velocity is nothing but rate of change of displacement with respect to time. So in our case, we don't have displacement, but at that position, we have a position vector. Okay, so if we differentiate that position vector with respect to time, so we are going to find the velocity of a link. So now we are going to differentiate the position vector with respect to time. So therefore, so v vector c represent the velocity vector of link C is equals to differentiation of this position vector. So position vector is c vector. So the position vector we got from the previous step r into e to the power of I theta, right? R into e to the power of I theta. So r is the radius or magnitude or length of the link. Okay, so it does not change even though the rotation of the link takes place. The radius will not change. Therefore, it is a constant. So if it is a constant means we have to take it out from the differential equation. So r is a constant, we have to take it from the differential equation. So we have to differentiate only this e to the power of I theta since r is a constant, e to the power of I theta. So what is the differentiation of e to the power of I theta? So e to the power of I theta into differentiation of this power I theta. Okay, e to the power of I theta differentiation is e to the power of I theta into differentiation of the power I theta. So in this I theta also, I is a constant, so we have to take it from the differential equation. So if it is a constant, we have to take it from the differential equation. So therefore r into e to the power of I theta into I is constant, take it out from the differential equation and differentiate only this theta with respect to time. So d theta divided by dt. And so we know that d theta by dt is nothing but what? Omega, right? That is rate of change of angular displacement. Rate of change of angular displacement with respect to time. Therefore, d theta by dt is nothing but omega. So r into omega into I into, see these are the remaining terms, I into e to the power of I theta. I into e to the power of I theta. So here in order to eliminate this I, we have to add 90° to the existing angle. So theta is the existing angle. If we add 90° to it or pi by 2, then this I will be eliminated. Okay, and we know that d theta by dt is omega. We have already substituted. So this one. So if we add 90° to theta, this I will be eliminated. Okay, so in order to eliminate this I, we have to add 90° to this theta. So the equation becomes r into omega into e to the power of I theta plus 90° or pi by 2. So here in this velocity r into omega, this is the magnitude, r into omega is the magnitude, and e to the power of I theta plus pi by 2 is the direction. Okay, so what does it mean? I e to the power of I theta plus pi by 2. So this is the magnitude of link. So here theta plus pi by 2. So theta is the position of a link OC. Okay, so this velocity is 90° ahead from the position of link OC. Okay, so this velocity is 90° ahead from the position of the link OC. Correct. So this is the position of the link OC theta. Okay, theta plus 90°. So exactly 90° to this velocity is acting. So total angle is from here theta plus 90° or pi by 2. So here the velocity is acting. So next one, to represent this velocity on the along with the position vector, see this is the position vector of the link OC, right? So this direction of the velocity is 90° ahead from the position of the link. So this is the position of the link, so which is 90° ahead from the position. So from here to here it is 90°. So this dotted line represent the velocity of the link OC. and this is the direction. And this is same as the graphical method. So in the graphical method also we have considered the same thing, right? So suppose if the link, this is the link, if it is rotating in clockwise direction with angle omega, suppose if this is A and this is O, so its velocity is tangent to it, correct? It acts 90 degree to it, velocity of A with respect to O. So same thing is there in the complex algebra method also. You can see here OC is the link which is rotating in a clockwise direction. Therefore, its velocity is a tangent to it or perpendicular to it. Okay, so it is acting perpendicular to it. So the angle between these two line is 90 degree. So here the velocity of a link C is acting. So this is the similarity between a graphical method and a analytical method. So next one is we have to find acceleration of a link OC by using the complex algebra method. So we know that acceleration is nothing but what? Rate of change of velocity with respect to time. Rate of change of velocity with respect to time is the acceleration. Okay, so we have to differentiate the obtained velocity vector with respect to time in order to obtain the acceleration. So acceleration vector AC is equals to differentiation of velocity vector with respect to time. So in the previous step we got the velocity vector r into omega into e to the power of I into theta plus pi by 2, right? So we have to differentiate this with respect to time. So in order to differentiate this, first we have to take the constants outside the differential equation. So our radius is constant, our magnitude is constant, we have to take it out from the differential equation. Then we have to differentiate it. So here omega is not a constant and this term is also not constant. Therefore, we have to apply the product rule, that is differentiation of u into v. Okay, so first we have to keep omega constant and differentiate this. In the next step, differentiate this omega and keep this term constant, u into v, that is product rule. So r into, so we have to keep this one as it is and differentiate the second term, that is differentiation of e to the power of I into theta plus pi by 2. So here only for the theta we are going to obtain the differential term because differentiation of this pi by 2 is 0. Okay, so I into d theta by dt, differentiation of this pi by 2 is 0. So in the next step or in the next step, so we have to uh, keep this one constant, that is second term v, and differentiate this u term. So e to the power of I into theta plus pi by 2 into d omega by dt. Okay, so now we are going to substitute d theta by dt value and d omega by dt value. So d theta by dt is nothing but what? Omega. So this one is omega, this is omega, whereas this is alpha. Okay, so this omega into omega, omega square, and remaining terms are this I into e to the power of I theta plus pi by 2. So this is remaining term. So in the second term, so this is alpha, right, as it is. Next, this is the remaining term, e to the power of I into theta plus pi by 2. Okay, so next, in order to eliminate this I term, so we have to add pi by 2 or 90 to the existing angle. So this is the existing angle, right? Theta plus pi by 2 is the existing angle. So if we add 90 degree to this existing angle, this I will be eliminated. Okay, therefore omega square into e to the power of I into theta plus pi by 2 is the existing angle. We are adding this extra 90 degree in order to eliminate this I. Okay, so theta plus pi by 2 plus pi by 2, this I will be eliminated. So in the next term, as it is, that is alpha into e to the power of I into theta plus pi by 2. So in the next step, r into omega square e into e to the power of I into theta plus pi, because pi by 2 plus pi by 2 becomes pi, plus alpha e to the power of I into theta plus pi by 2. Now I am going to multiply this r. Therefore r into omega square into e to the power of I into theta plus pi plus r into omega alpha into e to the power of I theta plus pi by 2. So here we have two terms, right? So this is one term, this is one term, so this is another term. Since we are finding the acceleration, so in the graphical method also we have discussed there are two elements for acceleration. One is radial acceleration, another one is tangential acceleration, right? So what do you mean by radial acceleration? The acceleration which acts towards the center of rotation. Sometimes we call it as a centripetal acceleration or normal acceleration. Okay. Another one is a tangential acceleration, the acceleration which acts tangent to the link. So for our case, we got two types of acceleration. So this is radial acceleration, second term is tangential acceleration. So therefore it is represented by ACC. This represents the radial acceleration, whereas this one represents the tangential acceleration. Okay. Now how to represent this on the position vector? See, this is the position vector, right? So the first term here, r omega square is the magnitude. R omega square is the magnitude of a radial acceleration, and e to the power of I into theta plus pi. So this is theta. Pi means 180 degree. So measure 180 degree from this line. Measure 180 degree from this line. Draw a line. This line represents the normal acceleration or radial acceleration. So these two are same. So this one and this one. This is the centripetal acceleration or radial acceleration or normal acceleration. So which is 180 degree ahead from the initial position. Okay, 180 degree ahead from the initial position. So representation of this radial acceleration is over. So coming to the tangential acceleration. So here r alpha represent the magnitude, whereas this is the direction. Magnitude and this is the direction. What is the direction? Theta plus pi by 2. So theta is the initial position. So initial position of the link. So 90 degree ahead from the initial position. So means which follows the same line of velocity. This is nothing but tangential acceleration. So there is a similarity exists between an analytical as well as graphical method, because so if we assume the same in case of link OC, which is rotating clockwise direction with an angular velocity omega. So its radial acceleration acts towards the center of rotation, which is nothing but this is the center of rotation, right? So this is the radial acceleration AR, radial acceleration of C with respect to O, radial acceleration of C with respect to O. So its tangential acceleration acts tangent to it or perpendicular to the link. Tangential acceleration of C with respect to O. So here also in the figure you can see for the link OC, radial acceleration is acting parallel to it. You can see radial acceleration is acting parallel to it and towards the center of rotation. Direction is towards the center of rotation. Coming to the tangential acceleration, which is perpendicular to it or 90 degree ahead from the link. Similar case in the complex algebra also. You can see this tangential acceleration is 90 degree ahead from the link. Therefore, the similarity exists between the analytical as well as graphical method. So next important topic is loop closure equation. So this is a very important topic. So using this concept we are going to solve the problem to find the unknown values like velocity, acceleration, position. So it is easy to find by using this loop closure equation. Okay, so what do you mean by this loop closure equation? So if we take a 4-bar mechanism as an example, so it consists of uh, 4 position vectors, right? Because the 4 links are there, therefore we are going to obtain the 4 position vector. So if we add all the position vector, then it is equals to 0. Okay, if we add all the position vectors, it is equals to 0. That is nothing but a loop closure equation. Clear? So I'm going to discuss in the next slide what is loop closure equation. So its property is, by using this loop closure equation, so we can find the position vector of different links. So as we mentioned in 4-bar mechanism, we have the 4 different links. By using this loop closure equation, we can find the relation between the position vectors of different links. And the third one is, so in the 4-bar mechanism, this is A, B, C, D. So this is the position or configuration of the 4-bar mechanism ABCD. Suppose if there is a change in the position of this mechanism, the length of AB and length of BC and length of CD does not change. It is fixed one, right? So therefore, even loop changes its position, the magnitude of relative position vectors do not change with respect to time. Okay, because links lengths are fixed. So that is another property of a loop closure equation. So next we are going to uh, find the loop closure equation for 4-bar mechanism. For that, let us consider a 4-bar mechanism ABCD. So let us consider a 4-bar mechanism ABCD. So it is in space. Therefore, we have to represent this 4-bar mechanism within the coordinate system. Let us consider x and y axis, real and imaginary axis. And before that, you can see the direction. So it is a closed loop. For the link AB, vector AB, for the link BC, vector BC, and for the link CD, it is vector CD, and for the link DA, it is vector DA. So if you see the direction, it is a closed loop. Okay. Now we have to represent the position of each points. For the link AB, we have 2 points A and B. Similarly, for the link AD, we have 2 points A and D. So we have to represent each points from a reference point. So here origin is the reference point. So from the reference point, draw a dotted line. So this dotted line, the direction is towards the point. So A is here, therefore direction should be towards A. So this represent vector A, position vector A. Next, from again from the same origin to the point B, draw a dotted line. This represent position vector for point B. This is nothing but vector B. Similarly, for point C, draw a line from the origin. This is the direction. This represents the position vector of point C. Similarly, for point D, draw a line from the origin and this is the direction. This represents the position vector of point D. Therefore, vector D. Now, absolute position vectors. So, what do you mean by absolute position? So, if we consider the individual position of a points, that is nothing but a absolute position. Another one is relative position. So, the position vector of B with respect to A means with respect to some other relative point we are finding the vector. That is relative position vector. This is absolute position vector. So absolute position vector of A is nothing but OA from origin to A. This represents the absolute position vector of A, or simply we can call it as vector A. Similarly for B, vector B, for C it is a vector C, and for D it is a vector D. So these are the absolute position vectors. Now let us consider the relative position vectors, which is nothing but uh, the relative position vector of B with respect to A, because A is the fixed point. Okay, relative position of B with respect to A. So that can be written as vector AB is equals to vector B minus vector A. Okay, similarly for the second link, that is this link BC connecting rod. So relative position vector of C with respect to B, that can be represented by vector BC. So that is nothing but vector C minus vector B. Next, third one, third link. So the relative position vector of D with respect to C. So that can be represented by vector CD, that is nothing but D vector minus C vector. So the last link DA, that is relative position vector of A with respect to D, which is nothing but vector DA, which is equals to vector A minus vector D. So what do you mean by loop closure equation? We have to add all the position vectors and it should be equals to 0. So let us add all the position vectors, that is relative position vectors. So AB vector, BC vector, CD vector and DA vector. Add all the vectors, that is B vector minus A vector plus C vector minus B vector plus D vector minus C vector and A vector minus D vector. So here all the vectors get cancelled, therefore it is equals to 0. So this equation represent the loop closure equation for 4 bar mechanism. Okay, so this equation represent the loop closure equation for 4 bar mechanism. Similarly, for slider crank mechanism, so let us consider a slider crank mechanism. C is the slider, AB is the crank. See the direction. So AB is acting towards B, and so if you see the direction, so here for the link BC, it is towards the slider C, and for link CA, for the link CA, it is towards A. Okay, so it is a closed loop and it is in a space. So we have to enclose within the axis. So it is a real axis, this is imaginary axis. In order to define the position of each point, we have to draw a line from the origin. Then only we can define the position of each point. Clear? So from origin to A, draw a line. It represents the absolute position vector A vector, and from the same origin, draw a line to the second point B. That is nothing but position vector B vector. So for the third point C, draw a line from the same origin. It represents the C vector. So these are the position vectors. Okay. So now we have to find the relative position vector. So because these are the absolute position vectors. So relative position vector of B with respect to A, which is nothing but B vector minus A vector. So second link, relative position vector of C with respect to B, which is nothing but C minus B, vector C minus vector B. Similarly for the last one, AC, uh, that is relative position of vector A with respect to C is nothing but wave A vector minus C vector. So let us check the loop closure equation whether it satisfy or not. So add all the position vectors. These are the three position vector. So after adding all the three position vectors, we got 0. Therefore, above equation represent loop closure equation for slider crank mechanism. Clear? So in the next case, let us consider the offset condition of slider crank mechanism, which is nothing but, so the line of stroke does not coincide with the fixed point A. There is a offset between this A and the line of stroke. This is line of stroke. DC represents the line of stroke or line of motion. So there is a small offset or distance between line of stroke and a fixed point. Okay. So it is in space. Therefore, we have to confine within the axis, real and imaginary axis. From origin, draw a line to each point. This is A vector and this is B vector and this is a C vector, and also from the offset point also we have to draw a line. So these are the absolute position vector. These are absolute position vector. So let us consider the relative position vector, which is nothing but relative position vector of B with respect to A. B with respect to A, B vector minus A vector. Next, for CB, for the link CB, relative position of C with respect to B is C vector minus B vector. And for CD, that is line of stroke, from the line of stroke to the offset point, D vector minus C vector. And the last one, from this offset point to the fixed point, offset point to the fixed point, A vector minus D vector. So let us check the condition by adding all the position vector. Add all the position vector and check the condition. So after adding all the position vector, we got 0. Therefore, it represents loop closure equation for offset slider crank mechanism. Okay. So the last one, under this loop closure equation, crank and slotted lever mechanism. So let us consider crank and slotted lever mechanism. So here AC is the crank, this is the slider, and this is the CB is the slotted lever. CB is the slotted lever, this is the slider, C is the slider, AC is the crank. So this is in space. Okay, see the direction, and it is a closed loop. This is in space, so we have to enclose within the axis. From the origin, draw a line to each point which represent the absolute position vector or position which represent the position of each point. A dash, this is A vector, B vector, and this is C vector. These are the absolute position vector. Let us consider the relative position vectors, that is relative position vector of C with respect to A, C vector minus A vector. Similarly, BC, for the link BC, B vector minus C vector, and for the link AB, A vector minus B vector. So these are the relative vectors with respect to each link. Clear? Now I'm going to add all the position vectors in order to check the loop closure equation. So after adding all the position vector, we got a 0. Therefore, this equation represent loop closure equation for crank and slotted lever mechanism.